Hello and happy new year to those that are celebrating the Gregorian calendar. It is your SCG New Year's test match, and we thought where better to go than to Brisbane for the SCG test match. Pezza, welcome to Brisbane. Welcome to backstage of a show we're about to do in an hour.
Mate, thank you very much for that welcome.
You're welcome.
Your welcomes are becoming very sort of kind, passionate, strong, and I am receiving them.
Good, okay.
And I, in turn, Hadouken them back to you.
Pakistan won the toss. They had a stick. They are all out for 313 at the end of the day, but that's not really the story of the day. The story of the day is that Sydney got a full day of Test cricket. And we laughed.
Well, I saw a yellow speck in the sky, and I didn't know what it was. Fucking morons. Nah, it's fair enough, to be fair.
Pakistan found themselves 96 for 5, I think it was. They were
4 for 47.
They were 9 for 220 or whatever.
Yeah.
Other numbers involving other numbers as well.
2 for spit.
Yeah, 4 for spit, if
Yeah,
anything.
mate, fuck.
But they found themselves all out for 313, and then Australia survived 1 over of off-spin, 6 not out, all 6 of those runs to David Warner, who had to face the first ball.
Yeah.
But you know what? He keeps us watching. I'm being serious now. He keeps you watching, Warner, and like that is something that I will miss, I suppose.
Someone to watch.
Something to watch.
Yeah.
So just something for the
good.
eyes.
Yes, it's always, mate.
Man, I'm ironing a shirt,
Yeah.
and
Optics.
I'm looking in between balls. I'm popping my head up.
Of course.
Can't talk.
Yeah. My mouth's slowly stitching itself shut. One crease of the lip at a time.
Yeah, I'm putting cotton buds in my mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the entire summer has revolved around this test in particular, and it being Warner's last. We were greeted with a news story last night that Warner had lost his baggy green cap or caps inside a bag, and that bag was inside luggage, and then it was some Chappelle Corby stuff. I mean, we've all lost a bag, so play on. And then I saw today Tim Stewart, great friend of the show, tweeting probably not a great strategy from Warner to be wearing 2 hats on his head when he's actually looking for.
It's always last place you look.
A lost hat. Yeah, that's right. You do want to comment underneath. Well, now where was the last place you saw it, Dave?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Just think.
Just think. Yeah.
Have you called the taxi company? Yeah, that kind of stuff. Geez, you know, it really nearly was Pat Cummins' day. Sort of still was. He still gets the ball, still gets to hold it aloft. He takes 5 for something. 3 5s in a row for Pat Cummins. I'm getting into this conversation in my head because no one else will talk to me about it when I'm going to Sheffield Shield games by myself.
Yep.
Wearing full kit. And that's why I'm not allowed within 800 metres of schools.
Yeah. You do have to give a statement to the AFP at the end of the day. Who have been tracking you.
I have to declare my whereabouts.
Sitting 6 rows behind you.
I was just thinking, like, Cummins, okay, like, not only is he winning games, his performances have not dropped. In fact, if he gets another fifer in the next innings, he will join a list of salubrious Australian players to get 4 wickets in a row in Test match cricket. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, okay, so is he getting into the annals of like, you know, where's he in the pantheon of Australian captains? But at the same time, this conversation about, well, Test cricket's dying, and how the story of the day started was that Shaheen was dropped from the side, right? So whilst Pat Cummins...
he was rested.
Sorry, he's resting, yeah. Now, yesterday I'm seeing in the nets, Harris Ralph in full Pakistan kit bowling to them in the nets as a warm-up. He's playing for the Melbourne Stars as his first choice.
I'm getting very confused.
Now, I'm getting Wacker, I'm getting...
Wacker laid into him.
I'm getting Wasim as well, just fucking putting the boot in, 2 feet. Mate. Just more foot stuff. Anyway.
Pakistan, this is the thing, like Pakistan golden generation absolutely shits on their current players. You know what I mean? From a But maybe that's how people see Australia overseas as well.
Yeah,
you know?
True. So I guess my point being, like, when I'm thinking about Pat Cummins, these amazing performances and him performing so well as a captain now, winning World Cups now, hasn't lost a test match at home, and his performances are so good. It's like, is this great? But Test cricket in the foreground is dying, and you're seeing that with Pakistan resting players for what I would imagine is premier Test matches. Australia away, I would imagine, is a premier Test match for Pakistan.
Don't forget our wonderful ability in this country to fucking ostrich our heads into the sand on New Year's, still eating some 15-day-old leftovers. Cummo's, bowling on his home deck where the ball's not getting up above the knees very early on, and so he's starting to bowl hooping in his to Baba, knocks him over. Hazlewood nicks off whoever it was, and I say that advisedly. And what about Hazlewood's gait? Anytime Hazlewood nicks a bloke off, he continues the same running stride that he has coming into bowl. He's just a horse going for a trot, just like he keeps the same stride and cadence, like shuffling, like just a casual locomotive, and it's like it's like a pendulum for me, and so. Be careful when you talk about Test cricket dying, because that kind of stuff is happening, and your eyes are just spinning around, and you're like, maybe I will eat a burger. Maybe the old resolutions can wait another week. What's that speck in the sky?
I like the thing about Hazlewood. We've said this before, but he's just so country. And when he's playing in the home Test match of Sydney, and he's bowling from the Paddington end. Now we know what Paddington's about. It's about fucking soft coat, sipping lattes, leafy greenness of Paddington. Range Rovers, that sort of gear.
Botox.
But but when I get Josh Hazlewood running in, I can imagine? Well, we get in there. Imagine
6 months.
Josh Hazlewood. Posing for an early Bruce Springsteen album, just blue jeans, straw in the mouth. Not even RMs, country boots, like an actual working man's boot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't mean to be contrary to you.
He's
it's
got
not
a
really
fade, though, yeah.
No, I was going to say, fucking fast fade he's rocking today. And as old Skull there remarked this morning, he's looking leaner than ever, Hazlewood. So
he's looking hot.
Yeah, as Walt Whitman said, I contain multitudes. Josh Hazlewood could fucking knock around in many roles.
Yes.
I remember we did a campaign with Cricket Australia 5 or 6 years ago with the quick bowlers and at the SCG in Dornets, and firstly realising how big they are and that we were never going to make it when you see them in the flesh. Yeah. But Hazlewood, was a raconteur. Not to be confused with having rack on tour.
No. Or our friend Carl Rackerman.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Of course, being Brisbane.
Who is backstage with us right now.
But he was just spitting verse about North London to me. Just
Was he?
Yeah, he just know. I think he'd played there, knew a lot about it. I'm like, he's fucking the Bendermere Bullet telling me about fucking Clissold Park. He contains
his favourite show's Top Boy.
Yeah. you got to watch Would I Lie to You? Those. Hazlewood's just got some good levels to it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, and the old bush horse just nicking blokes off the SCG. Yeah. That's why I can easily forget about the clear systemic death of Test cricket in our face when Pakistan's premier bowler in what we believe is one of the fucking North Star tests of our summer. He's going. I got a couple of 4-over spells coming up that I need to keep the old rig ready for.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was thinking, I was
thinking
when in the first 2 overs, Stark gets Shafiq, and then Hazlewood gets a wicket of his second ball of his first over, and I was like, not many people knocking about, and that's the great privilege of Sydney. It's a New Year's Test match. People will be like, oh, well, it's a work day. The fuck it is. Yeah. It's January 3. 32 something in the ground today, 32,000. So
that's not bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
So that's just Sydney saying, we'll have a look at it.
We'll have a look later. Yeah. Have a look, maybe. I might if you can get me to a
Don't forget plenty of the members.
So I suppose day 3 being Jay McGrath Day is the premier day of this Test match. I suspect. But anyway, just generally speaking, the pitch looks fucking shithouse. Pakistan won the toss and it looked fucking flat.
Well,
it looked flat, but then it was fucking so low.
Again, just to chuck these things out there, 9 wickets in the day, 300 runs. Usually pretty good days Test cricket. And Pakistan going at 4 and over, playing the style that they play.
So is it a good pitch?
Well, yeah. Do the ends justify the means? Right. I agree with you. And I think they would. At the end of the day, this comes down to what's the sort of sex that you like. Again, it's a bump stuff missionary.
Of course, yeah.
It always if you like your fielders behind the wicket and the ball's zipping through on day one through the chest, which is what we've been brought up on, then you're not going to like this kind of deck very much. Sydney has become low and slow. Mitch Marsh said at the end of the day it was a new ball wicket at the start, so you want the deck to offer something for new ball bowlers, but both teams were going to win the toss and bat. I guess that's fine, but I just think when you're having day one most most fielders in front of the wicket, and Mitch Marsh bowling kind of, for him, bulk overs, stump to stump. I just think that those tactics should come into play a little bit later in the game. I just think when that's happening day one. Pakistan have done well to dig themselves out of a fucking massive hole with Aamer Jamal, and Rizwan was sex for his whole innings. He was incredible.
Yeah.
Also, when he got his 50, he didn't maneuver the bat.
No, he's been doing this for a little while. He does both hands up, like he's declaring he's offside. But he's not impacting play, you know.
So I think he qualifies for a guy who's like, well, man, if that's how you want to play, then
it's funny with him because a lot of conversation about Sarfaraz playing the first Test match, but then Sarfaraz was player of the match in the last 2 games. In fact, he might have been player of the series last 2 Test matches. But it just seems to me that while Sarfaraz is an excellent cricketer, but Rizwan just seems to me just has the highest ceiling. But I can also imagine he's extremely frustrating. In many regards, I mean, even when he scores 88 today, he plays a shot that he probably didn't need to play.
Cummins is just fucking golden boy at the moment. Yeah. He was his second ball. Like Rizwan was bouging everybody everywhere. Can he talk? And just caught the top edge there as he was trying to roll his wrists on it. But I think everything's just coming up. And I think that's kind of deserved because I feel like Cummins he's bowled. I feel like I've watched him bowl a lot of spells where he doesn't get the chocolates, you know, if you know what I mean. Like he bowls a lot of really, really strong spells where it just gets no reward. So if he's picking up some wickets where it's like, oh, he just got the luck that day and it's getting hot for him, then good on him. He cops a lot of shit from a lot of people. I'm glad to see him do well.
Well, some of his wickets though are fucking sex. I mean, he gets the LBW of Babar Azam, who looked pretty good when he made 20 odd something. But there was a couple of glorious cover drives, so we got to see that. We got to like a tip of the old bonce there. Yeah, just like okay, this guy can play. I respect that. Yeah. Now let's fuck him off. Big old inducker. Goff is for a guy that doesn't get many wrong. Old umpire Goff, he hasn't a great couple of Test matches there. Man.
I like his old
smashing leg.
I like his. The thing is, when Cummins bowls that in here, like. Usually he's like Maguire in the sense that like he's so committed to
chucking it. Unpopular opinion.
He's really committed to that, just hitting that off bail and hitting that really hard length. You know, when he starts to bowl that massive inducker that like there's not a lot happening for him, and I thought that was interesting. But because he bowls from like 11 o'clock when he really wants to send that ball swinging in, it's like a comically hooping in swinger, and so. Those ones do often look like they're sliding, you know, and that even the seam position is just like drastically towards fine leg. But I like how Goff is. He's an old school umpire, and that like he's conservative. He starts from a position of not out, like nothing's good enough. It's got to be really good. It's old school, like kind of batters first mentality, and like I think an umpire who gives something not out when everyone thinks it's out is got to be the best feeling.
Do you know what I think in that category
rather than giving a batter out who says he's not out?
Like one of the great YouTube searches, I mean, there are great searches generally across the internet, many of which have to be done from private tabs and indeed from the dark web.
And even does private tab even work? You might even want it. Yeah.
Well, exactly. But like looking at like shocking umpiring decisions from like the 80s, 90s, that makes you so happy because the welling up of anger is like, oh, this is fucked. Yeah. And we don't get that anymore. Yeah. You know, just like even the
this corruption's fucked.
Like the one that's hurt Australia that will never hurt us more is the 2019 one where Stokes and Leach had that big partnership, and then Australia burned that review. Yeah. It'll be talked about for as long as these guys are still playing as the worst burning of a review of all time because of what happened after that.
But it was salmon.
But it's like so we get that kind of we get that kind of shame attached to like an LBW decision, and of course Joe Wilson's subsequent not out of that. So but you know, off Nathan Lyon when Stokes was out or should have been out sweeping or whatever. But like that is something I agree with Pakistan with, you know, about like technology's ruined the game, because I don't get as angry as I used to about like, oh, this is fucked. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, totally.
When the game is itself inherently fucked.
Easy. Join our Patreon show if you want to see us go really fucking bad on that kind of stuff. Yeah. It'll come out this Friday. But I've always said that like if the rules were just being designed for what I need in my life, personally, I don't have to consider anybody else. And there are a lot of people who live their lives like that, by the way. Probably good in a lot of ways, but probably cause them a lot of pain. Relationships.
A lingerie league?
Yeah, if the world is designed for me, that's right. Well, we've talked about what I'd do if I like. There's a couple of things I'd like to do if heaven really is you can do whatever you want. But that'd be really veering off course. It's like knocking drinks out of people's hands, swiping them with a pool cue across the neck, just as a reward for living a good life.
This is heaven.
Yeah. Well, you've got 3 wishes because the genie is gone.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I could live, I think, and manage in a mature way a life with umpires trying their best to make decisions and occasionally making mistakes, even if my team and my interests suffer. It's just that when money comes into play, my own money when I'm putting multis on.
When you're parenting with
that's right. And then I'm taking screenshots of it, checking it up on Instagram, the story.
Bulgarian handball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See, my ideal is having home umpires that purely make biased decisions forever. That's my heaven.
I like that. Yeah,
that's my
right.
utopia.
Yeah, that really is. Will get you at the Gabba.
Bring back Peter Parker. Bring back Steve Randall.
That's right.
Well,
Daryl Hare.
Yeah.
Steve Randall. He's going to have some caveats. What? Why am I talking like Ray Warren?
Caveats.
Yeah, I was going to need some caveats now. We're on the road.
Yeah, he's running out of carrots.
Speaking of things that were said on commentary.
Were we?
Well, yeah, speaking of talking, noticed today Punter, becoming, just as out of nowhere, becoming really animated when a discussion had emerged about how Muhammad Rizwan's father continued to get young Muhammad in trouble because he was skipping school to practice his cricket.
Oh, I didn't hear this. And
Punter got really animated, saying like, well, the first thing he's done wrong is he doesn't know how to skip school properly, you know. And he starts going like, kids, listen up. If the way you skip school is, and he's going,
that's fucking great.
He goes, you get away from the school as far as you can, go to a park or something. And I'm thinking, is that the message? It's like 12 o'clock. Like heaps of young kids are watching and their heroes just going, now the best way you skip school, kids.
Now, this is also coming from a guy who can't tie his tie that we've seen recently. Right. So, mixed messages. I just think, stay in school, but stay in parks.
Maybe in Launceston back in the day, it's okay to go to a park because your parents probably think it's okay, like maybe in the mid-'80s or something. Yeah. I don't know if I want my kids trying to skip school aged 11 going to a park as far away as possible, exposing themselves to those dangers. Once again, talking about Steve Randall.
Yeah, a couple of umpires at home.
A couple of umpires in socks and glasses of milk. And then
getting stuck in lifts.
You find your kid and he's like, oh, Rick, Punter told me on the TV. I'm not sure it's exactly what Punter said.
Fuck, he was good in the short ball, wasn't he, Rick?
front foot, get the big striding, hit down the ground. Very hard to bowl to.
Well, there's no better time to bring in our sponsor in Pezza, Smith Optics Australia. Use the code FAST, F-A-S-T, FAST, for 25% off your order at smithopticsaustralia.com. We've been promoting the field range recently. We've been promoting the verts, the bobcats, the wildcats, all sorts of cats, any sort of cat you want. Not Simon Caddich. He's actually not available.
Fuck, I'd buy them too.
To be purchased. But yes, use the code FAST for 25% off. Now, as we understand, these bad boys have been flying off the shelves. We've said that before, but we've also seen them on some commentators recently today.
Once again,
they're on everyone.
Well, there are. Like, it just goes to show the ubiquity and universality of the energy of these glasses right now. I mean, today we're seeing pictures of fucking Wasim Akram wearing them. Now, could anybody look faster in a pair of that kind of stuff? And, like a lot of people might suggest that, Fox Cricket hasn't always been friends with the grade cricket, or at least some quarters of it. But we're still joining hands on this. It doesn't
hands
matter.
Across the world,
that's right. This is a bipartisan thing. Yeah. These Smith Optics are extremely good. Very happy to join hands across the world with some quarters of Fox Cricket. Just to say, Smith Optics very fast. Their talent looking fantastic. I didn't even see Junior in it because I wasn't watching. But how incredible would he look in those sunnies?
I mean, imagine.
They just feel good to put on. Everyone feels happy when you put those sunnies on.
Everyone in the room feels happy.
Yeah.
Because you can wear them indoors. Just cutting around, cutting things up.
Yeah.
All sorts of things.
No, but in all, and people of all ages, it just make everybody happy to put on. It's sort of this.
That's a good
it feels semi-ironic thing, but everyone deep down is like, no, these feel fucking awesome, and they have extreme practical value. Adjustable nose bridge, chroma pop technology. You see the colors beautifully. The way that it wraps around the old American pies there. Yeah, it's the old Marcus Byers, so that it takes out the full periphery of your vision.
I've seen and also running them, cycling in them as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you can feel like, Michael Slater in 1995. And who wouldn't want that?
Not so much in recent years.
Let's get off this.
SmithOpticsAustralia.com. Use the code FAST to support TGC supporting Smith Optics Australia.
Aamer Jamal.
Aamer Jamal. Good about Aamer Jamal.
9 for 220. Comes out, plays he played brutally and beautifully.
Was incredible.
Yep.
And unlucky to hole out eventually off Nathan Lyon down to Mitchell Stark down at long on.
What an innings,
mate!
It's Hawkesbury's own, by the way, Aamer Jamal,
of course.
So from Benson's Lane there, he had a couple of mates apparently coming out to watch from Hawkesbury.
82 off 97. Was his innings. Now, he put on a partnership, so there was 9 for 227, so they nearly put on 100. What's that, 86, of which Mir Hamza made 7 off 43, who also played his part, I suppose.
Of course.
I guess it draws parallels in that relationship where, Australia couldn't get Jack Leach out in that 2019 Ashes, but just because one guy was so aggressive. But, mate, Jamal has been excellent. He's been excellent this test series.
The
for
application
Pakistan.
in Melbourne when he was dead batting as well. Like, he's got a very. What else can you say? But there's a bit about this bloke.
Yeah,
and you've got to like it.
The energy's good.
Yeah,
the energy's
and
up.
and I can see how there's a bit of Hawkesbury about him as well.
I can see that.
You spend time driving out to Benson's Lane.
Yeah,
that's worse than whatever he would have grown up with in Pakistan.
And we say that with love.
I say with love.
We say with love.
So
yeah. And if you say that, you say with love, then you can sort of
just play on.
Yeah, sort of skirts around any sort of
actually sort of one of the boys.
Sort of skirts around any sort of prosecution that might follow.
And was said with love.
No, boys, all good. Said with love.
Love.
Yeah, so he's got them in a position where they were basically fucked. I mean, there was some stats about. I saw Lockie McCurdy tweet today. Since the year 2000, the average first innings score at the SCG was 393.
I was just going to say,
I heard a stat just to finish off on that.
Please.
In the last 5 years, the average first innings score was like 480.
Yeah.
That's the sort of when he was teeing off, it was like, Pakistan are fuck this because it was so flat. But they've got themselves in a position where they have not lost the game today. Just about.
Look,
obviously, if they're all at 230, they've lost the game today.
I gotta,
it's gonna
there was a ball that Hazlewood bowled. Admittedly, it's landing halfway down the track
and wide, yeah.
But
it rolled.
It just hit a spot where it's like it completely died.
Now, you feel the groundsman, you're like, oh god, no.
Well, what's that like? What are we looking like? Sort of day 2, day 3. So I'm particularly given the way the SCG has been playing in first class cricket, I'm like mindful not to say, oh, that was a 500 deck, but it when you've got bowlers of these guys' ilk who are bowling bumpers and like persisting with that approach at home in Australia, and they're number 8? Where does he come in? 9, 8.
9, I think, yeah.
Is just popping them over the fence, and generally handling it pretty well.
Hoiking line as well.
It suggests to me that it's a pretty good deck, and if 1 or 2 Australians don't go big in the next couple of days, then I'm calling for an Argus review.
Good. Good.
So
Warner faces the last over of the day, nearly fuck me, that is close to nearly bowling.
Awesome.
So he goes back to a ball which is pretty full, hits the middle of the bat, obviously hits the rough on the popping crease, then spins back, just goes over the top of the middle and off.
Great call to start with spin as well.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
in Australia, that's an optic I'm not usually seeing.
Pakistan's entire bowling attack has 136 Test wickets, so it's an inexperienced attack especially compared to Australia.
Someone's got to hit 250 in the next couple of days.
It's got Warner all about it. I mean, Marnus got a good record at the SCG. Smith obviously home. I mean,
they've all got to cash in. Yeah, 6 declared for 900.
So Warner, this could be Warner's one shot.
Yeah,
this actually could be Warner's last innings.
Yeah, so we've decided Australia's batting once in this game. Yeah.
We're arrogant.
Yeah. Well, we've had a pretty good year, so it's time to dust off the old DNA that sits there and get obnoxious about everything. Hey, bit from the Patreon chat. This is
if you want to join our Patreon, it's patreon.com/Great Cricketer.
Where the best chat happens.
They are supporting TGC. There's a live chat happening throughout the day, and that's where the best chat is happening.
First one comes in from Studded Collar. Wow, guys, Kane Corns has declared Test cricket dead. Who do the Pies play in round 1? Was that round 1 or round 0?
Round 0.
Yeah, I can't remember which round it is. Yeah. El Diablo says, day at the SCG, followed by pink v blue at the closest watering hole. Wee war. 6 months, 9.
Give it to Warsaw, a city in Poland.
Willow Barter wrote,
oh, God.
Junior and Vorney talking about the black market cockatoo trade in Dubai was not on my 2024 bingo card.
Oh, it was for me.
That is
bingo!
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Respect.
Yeah.
That's good.
The boys are good.
Okay, someone talking about boomers giving Cummins shit. Oh, it's talking shit about Warner and Cummins giving him crow's feet. No, that's not looking. A lot of a lot of stuff I'm not really reading out.
And there's a lot of reactions to those things.
Someone wrote Jack Harvey wrote, might have to learn this Carmichael Hunt's name. Presumably he's talking about Aamer Jamal.
Fuck, he looks good. I'll have to learn his name.
Might have to learn his name. I'll have to learn his coach's
I'm going
name.
to punch that in the Patreon chat. Well, that's the sort of thing that's going on Patreon. That's the sort of thing happening in the SCG Test match. It's all just a warm-up for the West Indies Test match, of course. Just drinking in Australia. Enjoy your new year. Thank you, as always, for joining TGC. We'll see you guys on the internet real soon.